I'm Doug Massi, and welcome to week 3 of our Telesales Tuesday edition of Final Expense Trainer. Today, I'm going to go over some especially important differences between agents that close the most sales and have a much higher closing rate, compared to the agents that are closing average numbers or maybe even below average sales numbers. The thinking is, once you know the difference between the two, you can decide which route you're going to go. Are you going to do the things that more successful producers are doing, or are you going to end up doing the same things that the least productive agents are doing? And that all depends on what's in your wallet. If you're new to Final Expense Telesales, you're just thinking about getting into it, I suggest coming back to this part of the video later and clicking on the link up here that will take you to our Final Expense Telesales playlist, which is training videos that cover everything from the telesales presentation to building rapport over the phone. I mean, everything you'll need to know for Final Expense Telesales success. First off, this is when I'm going to ask you to give the video a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, do that now. We are actually putting out new content every single week, and if you'll kindly stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get a copy of the Tele-Sales objections and rebuttals cheat sheet. That way, you'll know how to deal with any objection that your telesales prospects might give you. Everything I'm going to share with you is based on what we've learned and heard from agents that are using our live inbound television leads platform. Since we're able to listen in on the calls, we are able to hear some noticeably big differences between the better producers and the agents with the average production or even below average production. I like to use our platform as an example because it gives everyone an even level playing field. They all have the same products, the same high first-year commission levels, and they all work the same exact live inbound call-in TV commercial leads. One of the interesting things that I've noticed is that most of the higher producing agents are licensed in the most states, usually like 20 to even 30 states or so right off the bat. You really want to be licensed in as many states as possible. This puts you in the driver's seat to get more leads each day, which means you'll be speaking to more people, so you'll be able to close more sales. Yeah, I know. Another thing that we see from the higher producers is that they sound calm, cool, caring, and patient, and knowledgeable. Most important, they're really good at empathizing with our prospects. The ability to understand, the feelings of our telephone clients and to be able to share with them these same feelings on an equal level is always going to be the biggest game changer. So let me be clear. The one thing I've noticed about the agents with fewer sales is that they all, and I mean every single one of them, are lacking the ability to connect with these people in the same way that the top producers are connecting. A lot of this comes naturally, but thankfully it can be learned, which leads to the presentation. Your presentation needs to be long and strong. A good Final Expense Telesales presentation will make it easier for you to naturally build rapport and maybe even give you opportunities to empathize with your prospects more often. The better producers tend to have an ability to get the prospect to share their personal experiences with, the funerals and the death stuff and the personal stuff. And these agents tend to be really good at sharing those emotions and feelings in a way that connects with the clients. The ability to share empathy is a huge part of being successful at connecting with our people. Once you've connected with them in an emotional way, they will trust you enough to buy from you. If you can't connect with them in this way, you need to be patient until it starts to happen. Remember, experience takes time. There are only 2 reasons that most people do not buy, and it always comes down to the cost and/or trust. That's why you do follow-up calls. The top producers all follow up on the people who say they can't afford, need to think about it, need to speak with someone, because in most cases, it's not that they really can't afford anything or need time to think about it, but they thought they could get more insurance for less money, or maybe they just need more time to trust you enough to buy from you. This is where the better producers tend to emphasize more to the value of what the client is getting as compared to just concentrating on selling cost. Top producers tend to focus less on the monthly payment options and more on the death benefit or value that the beneficiary gets, making the value feel huge as compared to, well, allowing the client to think that the cost might be too much. Again, working the right presentation, a long scripted final expense sales presentation that helps you build lots of rapport while building up the value of the insurance, what you're selling, is extremely important. Top producers do not cut out any parts of the presentation, while the more average agents are always trying to figure out a way to shorten the presentation, to make things easier, so they're usually cutting out parts of the presentation, never making things easier in the long run, and which only can cost you sales. Especially if you're not a master at the art of conveying your feelings about a specific situation, that relates to your client's situation. Again, coming back to having the ability to empathize with your client. For a copy of the Telesales Objections and Rebuttals cheat sheet that I mentioned earlier in the video, just email me, guys, at doug@ufesonline.com. For more information on joining our final expense inbound call-in leads platform, just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now, get out there and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting!